Okay, so this is our second podcast that's kind of dealing with relationships, sort of, but this one is coming from the perspective of men and how to be a leader in a culture when, there's just so much pressure against the family and against, strong men. There's like a whole, depending on where you're from, but kind of all over the world, the whole idea of like women, toxic women, feminism stuff, that you kind of end up dealing with. And as husbands and wives, as ministers of the gospel, as the Church of Jesus Christ, we have to be aware that we are creating a godly culture.
Yeah.
And so today you have some awesome points on the culture, the way that men can stand up and create a godly culture in their own home.
Yeah, I mean, the first part I think about is Ephesians, right? He's talking to both men and women as believers on how they should walk in the Spirit, right? And then it goes into, wives submit to your husbands, masters, slaves, fathers, children. And Paul was really just addressing, in that time, a culture where the men had a different... They could do it, they were just dominant, right? And so he's actually bringing a culture-changing paradigm shift for the way it should be done, right? Like, it's just funny because my dad would always say, my dad and I joke about this now, but like, children, obey your parents, right? And then he would end the verse. But then Paul would add,
parents don't provoke your children to anger.
Don't provoke your children to wrath, right? So now he's putting the onus back on the men.
Each side has a responsibility.
That's kind of my point, is Paul is putting the onus back on the men for the responsibility in the culture where it was much different. And so he also wrote in 1 Corinthians 16:13 to 14, he says, be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong, let all that you do be done in love, right? And so
you feel like this is a directive or a way of how men are supposed to be against the culture or stand strong in their home, in their churches, in their culture.
I mean, Jesus is the example, right, as men, right? And so when he talks about being watchful, they kind of use the idea that men are to just have vision, to look ahead, see the future, paint a picture, and kind of lead like, hey, we're going somewhere as a family. And not only just terms of direction, but culture is kind of vision's kind of like where we're going, but culture is kind of like how we walk together in that thing.
So I like that, because be watchful doesn't mean just stand on guard, which you are.
Yeah.
But it's also making sure that you're seeing purpose and direction.
Yeah, it gives a direction, and when you're out of alignment, it helps, right?
And you know that you're...
Yeah. Then he says, stand firm. And what does that kind of mean? Be stubborn. It just means, in some case, as a man, you have to stand up again for what's right, even though maybe everyone else is coming against, or a culture's coming against that idea of what the family should look like, what a man should look like, and like who defines what a man should be, and kind of things like that. But obviously, being we want to read the Bible and look at that.
So the idea is know what you believe in, and be firm in that, right?
That's right.
Know how to express yourself. Know how to stand against the cultural tide, even when there is, pushback or resistance against it. You actually have to stand firm. It's an action that you take.
Yeah.
You're not.
It can be a minority position where you just stand firm on your principles or your convictions of what it is, and just don't go with the flow, right? That's kind of what they're saying. Take a stand, like act like a man.
Yeah.
Act like a man.
Okay, so be watchful, have vision, right? Stand firm.
Right. Act like men. It's not like act like a man. It's like act like men. And so the idea is kind of like, it's not just, like, the comparison was boys act like this, and then men act like this.
Right.
Boys are like lone wolves, but men run in packs. So the idea is men are team players, right? They act like men, like they work together in team idea, not just I'm just doing my thing. I'm the Lone Ranger kind of idea. So that's kind of.
So it's not an individual like taking the mountain by yourself.
Yeah,
you understand your role and position in family, in church, in society, that you're actually integrated in.
I mean, if you're leading, you're by yourself. Like the famous saying is you're just going for a walk, right? Yeah. So you got to bring people with you if you're influencing them, right? And that's kind of the whole point of discipleship, is to bring people with you, not just like, look what I'm doing, look at my platform. And so I think it starts in the family, starts with the man himself, and then his family, and then it kind of the influence grows, right?
Good. So that's another mark of being a man, standing against the tide, is that you recognize that you do it not alone, but you do it.
Men are team players, is kind of what I'm saying. Okay.
Good. Okay.
Okay, and to be a strong man, and we're wired to produce value. Yeah, we should be adding value to people, and so everything is, to be strong is to add value to people, and I don't know how else to put that. It's very simple, very straight.
Be a giver,
be generous,
be a grower,
which means men like to work,
and they work hard.
And they work hard, right? And so, the work has purpose. It adds value to people, and work is part of our expression of how we add value and the way God's made us, right?
Yeah, so good. It's awesome.
And the last one, I think we can all agree, is that we got to do everything in love, right? And done in love, and love is always done for the sake of another person, not just you, right? Because love is a giving thing. So, which means as a man, I'm basically also a protector of the ladies. Well, my lady.
And the ladies.
And the ladies in my area.
So I love that. So 1 Corinthians 16, 13, and 14, right? Be watchful.
Yeah.
Stand firm in the faith.
Yeah.
Act like men. Be strong. And let all that you do be done in love. And those are the foundation that you stand on as a leader in your home, leader in the community, leader in the church, leader in society. Don't be afraid to be these things and lead in these ways.
Yeah.
Amen.